Brut 89, a wine I was specially reserving for myself. Continuing his disgraceful deception, he succeeded over the course of the afternoon in alienating the affections of my only ward. He subsequently stayed to tea and devoured every single muffin. And what makes his conduct all the more heartless is he was perfectly well aware from the first that I have no brother, that I've never had a brother in my life, and I certainly have no intention of ever having one in the future, not even of any kind. I distinctly told him so myself yesterday afternoon.
Mr. Worthing, after careful consideration, I have decided to entirely overlook my nephew's conduct to you.
That is very generous of you, Lady Bracknell. My own decision, however, is unalterable. I decline to give my consent.
Come here, sweet child. How old are you, dear?
Well, I am really only 18, but I always admit to 20 when I go to evening parties.
You are perfectly right, making some slight alteration. Indeed, no woman should ever be quite accurate about her age. It looks so calculating. 18, but admitting to 20 at evening parties. Well, soon you will be of age and free from the restraints of tutelage. So, I don't think your guardian's consent is, after all, a matter of any importance.
Pray excuse me for interrupting you again, Lady Bracknell, but it is only fair to tell you that according to the terms of her grandfather's will, Miss Cardew does not come legally of age until she is 35.
That does not seem to me a grave objection. 35 is a very attractive age. London society is full of women of the highest birth who have, of their own free choice, remained 35 for years. Lady Doubleton is an instance in point. To my own knowledge, she has been 35 ever since she arrived at the age of 40, which was as many years ago now. I see no reason why our dear Cecily should not be even still more attractive at the age you mentioned than she is at present. There will be a large accumulation of property.
Algy, could you wait for me until I was 35?
Of course I could, Cecily. You know I could.
Yes, I felt it instinctively. But I couldn't wait all that time. I hate waiting, even 5 minutes, for anybody. It always makes me rather cross. I'm not punctual myself, I know, but I do value punctuality in others. And waiting, even to be married, is quite out of the question.
Then what is to be done, Cecily?
I don't know, Mr. Moncrief. My dear Mr. Worthing, as Miss Cardew states positively that she cannot wait until she is 35, a remark which I am bound to say seems to show a somewhat impatient nature, I would beg of you to reconsider your decision.
But, my dear Lady Bracknell, the matter is entirely in your hands. The moment you consent to my marriage with Gwendolen, I will gladly allow your nephew to form an alliance with my ward.
You must be quite aware that what you propose is out of the question.
And their passionate celibacy is all that any of us can look forward to.
That is not a destiny that I propose for Gwendolen. Algernon, of course, can choose for himself. Come, dear, we have already missed 5, if not 6 trains. To miss any more will expose us to comment on the platform.
Everything is quite ready for the christenings.
The christening, sir, is that not somewhat premature?
Both these gentlemen have expressed a desire for immediate baptism.
At their age. The idea is grotesque and irreligious. Algernon, I forbid you to be baptized. I will not hear of such excesses. Lord Bracknell would be highly displeased if he learned that this was the way in which you wasted your time and money.
Am I to understand, then, that there are to be no christenings at all this afternoon?
I don't think that as things are now, it would be of much use to either of us, Dr. Charlesbourne.
I am grieved to hear such sentiments from you, Mr. Worthing. They savor of the heretical views of the Anabaptists, views that I have completely refuted in 4 of my unpublished sermons. However, as your present mood seems to be one peculiarly secular, I will return to the church at once. Indeed, I have just been informed by the pew opener that for the last hour and a half, Miss Prism has been waiting for me in the vestry.
Miss Prism! Did I hear you mention a Miss Prism?
Yes, Lady Bracknell, I am on my way to join her.
Pray, allow me to detain you for a moment. This matter may prove to be one of vital importance to Lord Bracknell and myself. Is this Miss Prism a female of repellent aspect, remotely connected with education?
She is the most cultivated of ladies in the very picture of respectability.
It is obviously the same person. May I ask what position she holds in your household?
I am a celibate, madam.
Miss Prism has been for the last 3 years Miss Cardew's esteemed governess and valued companion.
In spite of what I hear of her, I must see her at once. Let her be sent for.
She approaches. She is nigh.
I was told you expected me in the vestry, dear Canon. I've been waiting for you there for an hour and 3/4.
Prism! Come here, Prism. Prism! Where is that baby? 28 years ago, Prism, you left Lord Bracknell's house, number 104 Upper Grosvenor Street, in charge of a perambulator containing a baby of the male sex. You never returned. A few weeks later, through the elaborate investigations of the Metropolitan Police, the perambulator was discovered at midnight, standing by itself in a remote corner of Bayswater. It contained a manuscript of a 3-volume novel of more than usually revolting sentimentality, but the baby was not there. Prism, where's the baby?
Lady Bracknell, it is with shame I admit I do not know. I only wish I did. The plain facts of the case are these. On the morning of the day that you mentioned, a day that will forever live in my memory, I prepared to take the baby out in its perambulator as usual. I have with me also a somewhat old but capacious handbag in which I intended to place a work of fiction which I had written during my few unoccupied hours. In a moment of mental abstraction for which I can never forgive myself, I deposited the manuscript in the bassinet and placed the baby in the handbag.
Where did you deposit the handbag?
Do not ask me, Mr. Worthing.
Miss Prism, this is a matter of no small importance to me. I insist on knowing where you deposited the handbag that contained that infant.
I left it in the cloakroom of one of the greater railway stations of London.
What railway station?
Victoria, Brighton Line.
I must retire to my room for a moment. Gwendolyn, wait here for me.
You were not too long. I've been waiting for you all my life.
What do you think this means, Lady Bracknell?
I dare not even suspect, Dr. Chasuble. I need hardly tell you that in families of high position, strange coincidences are not supposed to occur. They are hardly considered a thing.
Uncle Jack seems strangely agitated.
Your guardian has a very emotional nature.
This noise is very unpleasant. It sounds as if he was having an argument. I dislike arguments of any kind. They are always vulgar and often convincing.
It has stopped now.
I wish you would arrive at some conclusion.
Oh, the suspense is terrible. I hope it will last.
Is this the handbag, Miss Prism? Examine it carefully before you speak. The happiness of more than one life depends on your answer.
It seems to be mine. Yes, here is the injury it received from the upsetting of a Gower Street omnibus in younger and happier days. And here on the lining is the stain it received from the explosion of a temperance beverage, an incident which occurred at Leamington. Oh, and here on the lock are my initials. I'd forgotten that in an extravagant mood I had them placed there. Yes, the bag is undoubtedly mine. I'm delighted to have it so unexpectedly returned to me. It has been a great inconvenience.
More is restored to you than that handbag. I was the baby you placed in it.
You?
Yes! Mother!
Oh, Mr. Worthing! I am unmarried.
Unmarried? Well, I do not deny that this is a serious blow. But after all, who can cast a stone against one who has suffered? Cannot repentance wipe out an act of folly? Why should there be one law for men and another for women? Mother, I forgive you!
Oh, Mr. Worthing, there is some error. There is the lady who can tell you who you really are.
Lady Bracknell, I hate to seem inquisitive, but would you kindly inform me who I am?
The frank news I have to give you will not altogether please you. son of my late sister, Mrs. Moncrief, and consequently, Algernon's elder brother.
Algy's elder brother. Did I have a brother after all? Oh, I knew I had a brother! I always said I had a brother! Cecily, haven't you doubted that I have a brother? Dr. Choswell, my unfortunate brother! Miss Prism, my unfortunate brother! Gwendolyn, my unfortunate brother! Algy, you young scoundrel, you're going to have to treat me with more respect in the future! You've never behaved to me like a brother in all your life!
Well, not till today, old boy, I admit. I did my best, however, though I was out of practice.
My own. But what own are you? What is your Christian name now that you've become someone else?
Goodness, I had quite forgotten that point. Your own decision on the subject of my name is irrevocable, I suppose.
I never change, except in my affections. What a noble nature you have, Gwendolyn.
Then the matter had better be cleared up at once. Aunt Augusta, a moment. At the time when Miss Prism left me in the handbag, and I'd been christened already.
Every luxury that money could buy, including christening, had been lavished upon you by your fond and doting parents.
Then I was christened. That is settled. Now, what name was I given? Let me know the worst.
Being the eldest son, you were naturally christened after your father.
Yes, but what was my father's Christian name?
I cannot at the moment remember the general's Christian name, but I have no doubt he had one. He was eccentric, I admit, but only in later life. And that was due to the Indian climate, and marriage, and indigestion, and other things of that kind.
Algy, can't you recollect what our father's Christian name was?
My dear boy, we were never even on speaking terms. He died before I was a year old.
His name would appear in the army list of the period, I suppose, Aunt Augusta?
General was essentially a man of peace, except in his domestic life. But I have no doubt his name would appear in any military directory.
Well, the army list of the last 40 years are here! These delightful records would have been my constant study! M. Generals. Malum, Maxbaum, Magley, ghastly names they have. Markby, Migby, Mobbs, Moncrief, Lieutenant 1840, Captain, Lieutenant Colonel, Colonel, General 1869, Christian names Earnest John.
Oh.
I always told you, didn't I, Gwendolyn, that my name was Earnest? Well, it is Earnest after all. I mean, it naturally is Earnest.
Yes! I remember that the general was called Earnest. I knew I had some particular reason for disliking the name.
My own Ernest. I knew from the first that you could have no other name.
Gwendolyn, it is a terrible thing for a man to find out quite suddenly that all his life he's been speaking nothing but the truth. Can you forgive me?
I can, for I feel you are sure to change.
My own one.
Letitia, Frederick, at last.
At last.
Gwendolyn, at last.
My nephew, you seem to be displaying signs of triviality.
On the contrary, Aunt Augusta, I've now realized, for the first time in my life, the vital importance of being earnest. Thank you.